we get into a conversation of my reaction to one Dylan Moses. One Dylan Moses who went undrafted through 7 rounds of the venue, which started on Thursday of last week. And it was a disappointment, as we all know. It was a massive disappointment. Dylan came into Alabama, 5-star in the 2017 class from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was one of the biggest pieces of that 2017 class. If you were to say Tua Tagovailoa was the most important offensive piece in that class, and you would be right to say that, Dylan Moses was probably the most important defensive piece to that class. And if you remember, his career started off strong. I mean, he wore number 18 as a freshman. He had 30 tackles that year, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, made the freshman All-SEC team. I mean, it was looking promising for Dylan. And then 2018, he exploded. He switched to jersey number 32, which was a very revered jersey when you talk about C.J. Mosley wearing that number, Rashaan Evans wearing that number. So Dylan picks it up and believes he's going to rock that number and carry on the mantle and the productivity that number has to it. And, Moses, his second season, 86 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, was a finalist for the Butkus Award. I mean, things were really trending north for Moses, and everybody was saying his junior year, he is going to freaking rock. He's going to be a rock star. He's going to be epic. I mean, oh my gosh, he's going to get the bag his junior year. Dylan going to do this thing. And Pete Golding was coming in to be the first year defensive coordinator calling the plays, and it was going to be Dylan with Pete Golding. Like, everybody was getting geared up for it. Everybody was getting turned up for it. And then Dylan tears his ACL. A week before the first game of the season against Duke. Dylan tears his ACL and misses the entire season. And everybody's going, oh, man, dang it. Dylan then tore the knee. God, dog. Dylan then tore the knee up. Man. And so everybody's frustrated. They're venting. They're drinking Hennessy and trying to cope with not having Dylan on the field. And folks were smoking weed and getting high and trying to deal with and cope with Dylan not being on the field. And it was tough. It was tough, trying to deal with not having Dylan out there. But eventually, we got over it. We were like, okay, Dylan's not going to play 2019. We'll chalk that up to an unfortunate injury. Some people chalked it up to Scott Cochran. I don't know why, but some people chalked it up to Scott Cochran. But people at the end of the day were like, you know what? He'll be back healthy 2020. He'll be back healthy his senior year. The defense will be back right. We'll be able to run it back in the following season. Well, 2020 comes around. Dylan's back on the field. And for the first couple of games, he's back to his normal self. I mean, against Missouri, he looked good. There were some moments where he looked good. But then as the season progressed, you saw him kind of hold back and not play the way he could have been playing. And it seemed like he was scared to get hurt again. And mentally, he was not all the way there. And Nick Saban, like, turn it loose, Dylan. Cut it loose, man. Turn up. Cut loose. And something just did not want to have Dylan cut loose. And then we get the news of, well, he'd been playing on a torn meniscus the whole season. What? Really? 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 He'd been playing on a torn meniscus the whole season. And then on top of that, unfortunately, lost his grandmother to COVID-19 as well. So Dylan went through trial after trial after trial after tribulation after tribulation after tribulation. But then, despite all of that, you still had some people that had hope that Dylan would at least get drafted. He won't go high, but at least somebody in the 3rd round will recognize the name Dylan Moses and take him. At least somebody in the 4th round would be like, there's Dylan Moses. At least somebody in the 5th or the 6th round would be like, there is Dylan. We can take him for a steal. There he is. He probably will have to rehab his knee, but once he gets back healthy, baby, we got a steal and one demo. We got nobody took Dylan Moses. Nobody. Went undrafted through 7 rounds. And upon this happening, you had fans ticked off. You had current players ticked off. You had former players ticked off. I mean, there were just a litany of tweets from current and former players, whether it was Malachi Moore or Terrell Lewis or Braylon Ingram, Will Anderson, just all of them jumping in there going, I can't believe this, man. Dylan didn't get drafted. Man, this is a crime. This is highway robbery. Dylan didn't get drafted, man. Whoever get Dylan gonna get a steal, bro. They gonna get the best player in the world, man. That was the best leader we had on defense, man. They didn't get Dylan? Man, folks sleep on Dylan. Man, who didn't draft Moses? I still can't believe Dylan Moses didn't get drafted. Like, there were former and current players just in absolute distraught over the fact that number 32, Dylan Moses, went undrafted. But the good news is shortly after the draft ended, the whole thing, he signed an undrafted rookie. He signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he went to somebody. Somebody picked him up. Somebody got him. Urban Meyer and the Jaguars decided to roll the dice there on Dylan. So he's going to have to push here to make the team. He's going to have to push here to make the roster. He's going to have to ball out. He's going to have to ball out to make this roster and to play well so he can earn that second contract where the real payday comes in. Because look at it, this contract that Dylan's gotten as a free agent, woo, mercy, 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 Jesus. So Dylan's looking at $70,000 guaranteed, $70,000. He's got a $50,000 base salary, and he's got the signing bonus of $20,000. So this is what Dylan Moses is looking at right now in terms of the Jacksonville Jaguars, as he's going to have to work his tail off to prove he can still play at a high level, at an elite level, make an NFL roster, and prove that he can take this team and do some special things in Jacksonville. So at the end of the day, I'm happy Dylan got picked up. I'm thankful he got picked up, because if you looked at Twitter, if you looked at social media, the BAMA Nation, y'all was worried about that boy. I mean, I can't tell you how much my inbox, my messages got beat up over the weekend. Steven, where's Dylan? Steven, who took Dylan? Steven, oh my gosh, Dylan did not get drafted. What we gonna do? Steven, Dylan didn't get picked up. Is anybody gonna take Moses? I mean, he wasn't a bad player. He was just a victim of circumstance, a victim of injuries. Can somebody please pick up the phone? Get Dylan, help! Somebody draft Dylan. Somebody take Moses. They got Moses. Jacksonville got him, signed him, undrafted free agent deal. Hopefully he takes this opportunity and he makes the most out of this opportunity and balls out. And maybe one day in the future, a 30 for 30 from ESPN will be made. Dylan Moses from 5-star to undrafted to go to the Hall of Fame. I mean, who knows? I'm wishfully thinking here that this happens, but I'm just happy that Dylan Moses is on an NFL roster.